So recently in my time in LA, I was not only lucky enough to get to play Star Wars Jedi Survivor early, but I was also lucky enough to get some time to interview a few of the developers of the game. These devs being Dori Arazi, who is a cinematic director, and Joanna Robb, who is a narrative technical director. So basically, in terms of what they worked on in Jedi Survivor, Dori helped to tell the visual story in cutscenes and interactive gameplay, and Joanna helped work on the companion combat, which is a brand new feature in Jedi Survivor. So it's safe to say that the things that they told me from behind the scenes of the game are pretty awesome, and I get to share that with you. Now, I will say a quick thank you to both of these guys for such a fun interview. They really were great to chat to, and once again, thank you to the EA Creator Network and Respawn for giving me this opportunity. So essentially, I went into this interview with no pre-prepared questions whatsoever. I just wanted to walk in, have a conversation with these guys about the game and some of the things that they loved about it, what they worked on, and that's exactly what they did. So the first thing I asked was what titles they'd both worked on previously, Dori having worked on multiple God of War titles and a few other games, and Joanna having previously worked on Marvel's Avengers and Jedi Fallen Order. The first question about Survivor I did want to ask was to Joanna, and I simply just wanted to know where the idea for the companion combat came from and how it was integrated into Jedi Survivor. She answered by saying there was a time in Jedi Fallen Order where Merrin helps you fight Taron Malicos, but only in the cinematics of the game. So there was a really obvious opportunity there where a really powerful character could fight alongside a Jedi, so why not have her do just that? What she went into next though was really interesting as she dove into the thought process of what if you were exploring a level and Merrin was with you? How does she keep up with you? How does it change the way we write dialogue for the characters or how they take in the environment? Which to me was really cool because it makes me wonder if potentially Merrin is actually floating around as Cal explores some of these planets in Jedi Survivor, or maybe someone like Bode Akuna is close by and the interactions between the two of them in the environment that you're exploring could be different each time. I did try to follow up and ask how many companion characters we could expect in the game, but I was pretty quickly shut down as they don't want to give away too many secrets. So I guess that one we're just going to have to play the game and find out. My first main question for Dori was that I wanted to know what it was like moving into working on a Star Wars game and what excited him about that. He told me it's great to come to such a fleshed out universe. It's already alive, it's got so much content, so much storyline and context, and it's great to join a living world and create more things within it. He also mentioned that they have completely redesigned the cinematic style in Survivor, stating that it's building into a beautiful canon. So it really will be interesting to see just how different all of the cinematics in Survivor will be compared to Fallen Order. Following this, I wanted to know a little bit about what it was like to work with Cal Kestis himself, Cameron Monaghan. And Dori had this to say. He said that Cameron's great. Cameron is Cal. He understands Cal and embodies him so well that it's great to work with him on set because if and when they come with a strong script, they ping it off Cal and Cameron is so quick on his feet that he comes up with so many capabilities and options and is so passionate about it that on set they can really flesh out how to really bring this content to Cal. He also mentioned Cameron's understanding of Cal as a character, and that's what allowed them to bounce ideas off each other in terms of how something should be delivered or the way Cal might feel about whatever's happening in that particular part of the story, which is actually really cool as well. Next up, I just wanted to ask what their favorite things were about the process of making Survivor. Joanna said it was the amount of player expression from the cosmetics, and yes, we had to have a joke about the mullet, to the lightsaber stances, saying it's really cool giving the players the option to mix and match and express Cal the way they want to as a player. Dori said for himself it's much the same, but also how they'd redesigned their cinematic language and how it's delivered. And one of the things he mentioned that really interested me is that a lot of the cinematic cutscenes had actually been filmed on a handheld camera, trying to give a more engaging feel of actually being there to the player. So that was pretty sweet too. Moving on to the next part of the interview, we started talking about the lightsaber stances and how much they'd developed from Fallen Order. Joanna talked about how much Cal has developed in the past 5 years and the complete overhaul of his animations to this kind of mastery that he's achieved in the time between Fallen Order and Survivor, and also the other improvements that may go unnoticed, like how he slides down hills with more control or how he dismounts from a wall run with a fancy spin, which you guys will see in gameplay. you really can see how much he's just developed in the last 5 years. After this, I wanted to ask a little bit about how long we can expect the story to be, and to be honest, I was fully expecting them to just shut me down and give me a no comment, but Dori actually had somewhat of an answer for me, which had me really excited. He said that it's far bigger than Jedi Fallen Order. The approach to the game design and the narrative design is so much broader and ambitious. There's so much breadth to the story and to the sides of it, so it's significantly bigger. He went on to say, how big? Well, you can tell me when you're done playing. So he didn't give everything away, but he gave me just enough to have me very excited. It appears Survivor is going to be massive in comparison to Fallen Order, which is no surprise, but to hear it from the cinematic director himself makes it so much more exciting. And finally, the last part of the interview, I did try to get a little sneaky insight for you guys. Off the back of the story conversation, I did sneakily try to get how many planets we could expect in Survivor, but again, I was quickly shut down as they could not discuss this with us. So for those of you saying you should have asked, I did, I tried, they wouldn't let me, so we're just going to have to play the game and find out. But that pretty much brought us to the end of the interview. We did only get 15 minutes, but in that 15 minutes, we got some great content. So I am curious as to see what your guys' thoughts were on these answers. Did you find this video interesting as well? I'm curious. Has it built up your hype levels going forward? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to leave a like if you guys are excited for Jedi Survivor, and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos in the near future. Again, a huge thank you to Dori and Joanna, and with that said, I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. Take care of yourselves, and may the Force be with you always.